Right, 21 July 2024. And today I'm going to be giving you an update on all the latest news that are trending this Sunday. And today we've got a lot of news. And as usual, I'll try to give you my analysis at the end of what is going on. So let us start with what's happening in Zanu PF. There is a major development that is taking place in Zanu PF. And this is with regards to General Chiwenga and the succession battle that is taking place in Zanu PF. So currently, Mnangagwa has said he's going to step down. But as you know, there are efforts to keep Mnangagwa in office by many, many people. And I'm going to be showing you this thing as it develops. And today, Christopher Mutsvangwa has given an exclusive interview to the Standard newspaper in which he has made some very damaging allegations against General Chiwenga. So General Chiwenga is the vice president of Zimbabwe and is also the vice president of Zanu PF. Many people believe that General Chiwenga is next in line to be the president of Zimbabwe. However, Christopher Mutsvangwa has been making a lot of statements in public, and he has given interviews to various newspapers. Today, Mutsvangwa has given an interview which is being called an exclusive interview to the Standard newspaper of Zimbabwe, in which he says General Chiwenga is not next in line, and Mnangagwa is not going to anoint General Chiwenga as the next person to take over. Mutsvangwa says Chiwenga has not been anointed, and there is no secret deal between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga regarding succession. And Chiwenga says, Mutsvangwa says he's going to expose Chiwenga over secret meetings that he held ahead of and after the coup. So he says he was very involved in what was happening during the coup, and he knows who was doing what during that time. So he told the newspaper that Chiwenga held certain secret meetings that were not in line with what he's saying in public. So you can go and look at that story in the Standard newspaper. Christopher Mutsvangwa, very outspoken, and he's saying that there is no way it says that Chiwenga is going to be the next president of Zanu PF or the next president of Zimbabwe, because he says Chiwenga was actually not in support of Mnangagwa. So you can go and check out that story. That is the summary of what is being said here. And we are watching the succession battle in Zanu PF as it continues. Yesterday, there were further meetings trying to put Mnangagwa in to extend his term to 2030. And I believe that Mnangagwa is behind all these things that are happening. He's trying to shake Chiwenga and see what Chiwenga is going to do next. And let's see what happens. Let's see how Chiwenga makes his next move. I don't think Chiwenga is currently making a strong move. And I believe that if Chiwenga continues in the direction in which he's going, he might lose this thing to another force, a third force or a fourth force. And I believe that Chiwenga needs to make a move right now. Chiwenga needs to assemble a team if he's going to become the next president of Zimbabwe, because there are very powerful forces that are trying to stop him from becoming the president of Zimbabwe. And you all know my preference. My preference is that we have a transitional system which will come from now, 2024, leading us up to fresh elections in 2040. I believe that currently the systems in Zimbabwe are not strong enough, and this requires negotiations and dialogue. At the moment, there's no national dialogue in Zimbabwe, and I believe that there is a need for national dialogue, after which Zimbabwe will go through a transitional system, build proper systems, because currently Mnangagwa has destroyed the systems in the country. There's so much corruption, and people who are in power, people who are in office right now, they are not interested in anything except accumulation of wealth. That is what I think. I believe, Kuti, all the contenders, right now there are many different factions in Zanu PF. The Chiwenga faction, the Mutsvangwa faction, Opam Chinguri faction, and also Auxilia Mnangagwa. They are all lining up to be the president of Zimbabwe. And I don't believe that any of these people are in a position to take our country forward. They are too divided, and everyone has got their own different interests. What worries me about Chiwenga is he is sitting back too much. He's not pushing. You cannot be president in 4 years and not make a plan. So I believe that Chiwenga is not doing enough to start building his team to become the president. I know that Chiwenga has got a lot of support in the military, but I don't think it's sufficient. Chiwenga needs to build a broad-based coalition, including the opposition, including business, and also including people in Zanu PF. And I think Chiwenga is not doing that properly. So let me look at other things. Koma Farah is saying, morning, Mr. Gambakwe, nasa mnakutsangwa. No, this is news time. Do not tsangwa maneru. Maskati in the morning, I don't get angry. Now, let's look at the news very quickly. I want to take you guys through a lot of interesting news. And I want to take you to what is happening in Zambia. And I'm a bit disappointed with the Zambians. Let me explain to you why. This is the Zambian Minister of Foreign Affairs. So let me find a picture, a good picture of Foreign Affairs, Mulambo Haimbe. This is the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Zambia. And the guys on, I'll give you guys this picture on Gambakwe. This is Foreign Affairs Minister of Zambia, Mulambo Haimbe. And what has happened is that Zambia has approached Zimbabwe for support with the presidency of the Africa Development Bank presidency. So they are campaigning to become the president of the Africa Development Bank. And Zimbabwe Foreign Affairs Minister Frederick Shava has said Zambia Foreign Affairs Minister Mulambo Haimbe has asked Zimbabwe to support their candidature for the AFDB chairman presidency, which is going to be held in May 2025. And obviously, Zambia has had to compromise on a number of things. And I would like to believe that Zanu PF is going to use this approach by Zambia to try to squeeze out concessions from Zambia on many, many issues. And Zambia must be careful not to play with the Zanu PF. Zanu PF is a very dangerous party. And any weakness, any sign of weakness by Zambia is going to be utilized, and Zambia will make sure that Zambia pays. So I don't know if this is worth it to approach Zanu PF. Maybe Zambia should be approaching someone else because the guys in Zanu PF, they are very dangerous and they are going to make Zambia pay. So this is just my warning to Foreign Affairs Mulambo Haimbe, that the people that they are playing with and trying to get concessions from and to get support from, who is Zimbabwe and Mnangagwa's government, they are going to milk this opportunity to send Zambia in the wrong direction. And when I talk of the wrong direction, I talk about an undemocratic political party that is currently incarcerated over 78 members of the opposition, that rigs elections, and which is so corrupt that the chairman of the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission was involved in a corrupt deal, including traveling to South Africa with Wikno Chivayo, Mike Chimombe, and Moses Mpov to print ballot papers to the opposition. SADC has issued a statement, a report of the CIOM, which said Zimbabwe rigged the elections. So Zambia don't want to be associated with these people. And I don't know if it's worth it, what Zambia is doing. So that is the approach by Zambia through Foreign Affairs Mulambo Haimbe to Zimbabwean Foreign Affairs Minister Frederick Shava for support on their candidature as president of the Africa Development Bank. So let's see how that goes. But this is very disappointing to me. I don't expect Zambia to work with Mnangagwa at all. But that is my opinion. What do I know? Time will tell. I always tell people that time will tell. If you play with Zanu, the end result is not good. Then I want to go to Mnangagwa's attempts to go for a third term. And what has happened is that there are people campaigning around the country who want Mnangagwa to have a third term, or at least go up to 2030. By which time they hope that Mnangagwa's sons will be ready to take over, or Auxilia Mnangagwa will be ready to take over. So in Lupane this weekend, they have done the same. So now we have Masvingo, we've got Mashola in the east. Now we've got Matebele in the north. They have all gone out in Midlands, and they all say they want Mnangagwa to be president for a third term. And I want to show you a video here. And this is by, I think it's Mnyaradzi Machacha, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see who is involved in this whole thing. This is crazy. They've gone out and said they want Mnangagwa to be a third term president. And let me show you the video of the actual meeting where they've done this, where they say they want Mnangagwa to become the third term president. Okay, so you can see clearly that there is a campaign around Zimbabwe to make Mnangagwa go for a third term. And this is also connected to trying to stop Chiwenga from becoming the president of Zimbabwe. This group that is going around has got the support of Mnangagwa, and Mnangagwa must come out clearly and disown these people. There is no one who should go for a third term, especially in Zimbabwe. It is going to be a very dangerous thing for Mnangagwa to do. And all these groups of people that are going around saying they want Mnangagwa to go for a third term, they just want to continue to loot and steal resources from Zimbabwe. They don't care about the future of our country. And we need to stop this whole thing. Zanu PF must come out strongly against these people who are going around calling for a third term for Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa's presidency has been the worst presidency ever. He has not done anything. His projects are not finishing. And our country is going down the drain. And people want to call for another third term. I don't believe that this is the way to go. And someone strong needs to come out and stop this whole thing, because the end result is very, very dangerous for the whole country. Then I want to look at what is happening in Africa. So there are very interesting developments in Africa. So let's start with South Africa and Swaziland. So I'm going to display a picture here. And the young lady I'm displaying here is called Nomcebo Zuma. So Nomcebo Zuma is going to be the 16th wife of King Mswati. She is the daughter of Jacob Zuma and Nonkululeko Hloniphile Mhlongo, or Mam Mhlongo. And what has happened is that Zuma has been promised 2 million rands and 100 cattle as lobolo for the 21-year-old Nomcebo Zuma. King Mswati is 56 years old and already has 15 wives. So he's going to be marrying the daughter of Zuma, who is called Nomcebo. However, Zuma is angry because when he was called to this lobolo negotiations, he was told that King Mswati's son is the one who's going to be marrying Nomcebo, only to find out when he arrived that it was actually King Mswati himself that is going to be marrying the 21-year-old Nomcebo Zuma. So this is ongoing. The mother, Mamhlongo, is happy to have this marriage go ahead, but Zuma himself has recused himself or has left the negotiations. So very interesting ceremony taking place there. That is the marriage of Nomcebo Zuma to King Mswati as the 16th wife without Zuma's participation. As you know, Zuma has got quite a number of daughters. One of them is married to Zimbabwe opposition leader's son. So one of Zuma's daughters is married to the sons of Welshman Ncube. Welshman Ncube is the opposition leader or opposition leader of the CCC. Right, so that is an interesting story in Africa. I'm also going to be looking tonight at a lot of women who are in leadership positions in South Africa. So there is a big push to do what is called the mainstreaming of women leadership in South Africa. And there has been a whole issue which was produced this week showing all the women who are in leadership positions in South Africa. So we're going to give you a special feature tonight. And one of the women we're going to feature is Charmaine Mabuza. So Charmaine Mabuza is the CEO of Ituba. Ituba is the lottery operator of South Africa. She is very prominent in many spheres in South African society. And Ituba has been running the lottery of South Africa since 2015. They are now going to be moving into Uganda and Tanzania with their national lottery operators. And I believe that they're also now running the lottery of Botswana. So let's look at all the women who are running these big companies in South Africa. We're going to give you a feature sometime this week. If I don't manage to do it tonight, I'll probably get someone else to do it. Amazing stuff. South Africa is doing so well. Let me explain to you why South Africa is doing well. Young professionals, young black professionals are taking over slowly, and many big institutions are now being run by young women and also by young black South Africans. Obviously, the transformation is taking long, but it's coming. And South Africa is building the infrastructure. That is what we like about South Africa. The problem with Zimbabwe, we've got a serious problem under Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is destroying everything in our country. And Mnangagwa is pulling us back with all these arrests that he's doing, lack of democracy, rigging of elections, and corruption. So Mnangagwa is destroying our country. Mnangagwa is the biggest problem that we have right now in Zimbabwe. Someone needs to deal with this situation in Zimbabwe. We cannot have that current situation, and SADC has to stop. They cannot continue supporting Mnangagwa with what he's doing. And going to SADC, there's been an end of mission closing ceremony in Mozambique. So you're looking here at Dube, and they have obviously handed over this mission to Rwanda. Rwanda is doing very well in Mozambique. They've cleared out the terrorists, and this was the function here. You can see the head of mission, Professor Molomo, over here. You can also see the director of the organ, Professor Kula Teletsane, and all the guys were over here yesterday handing over the mission to the Mozambicans. The Mozambicans are now supported by Rwanda. Rwanda is doing a great job, but Rwanda don't want to be distracted by any other force. So they've pushed out everyone who was involved in this mission. So now the only actors left in Mozambique is the Mozambican army and Rwanda. Rwanda is doing very well in Mozambique. They've shown that they can run a mission, and they've done a good job. Then I want to go to the burial of retired Brigadier General Chaminuka. So as I always say, the Zimbabwe military is doing what they can, but the army of Zimbabwe is very strange. The guys who are running the army, these top brigadiers, they are struggling in their personal lives. They've got nothing to show for everything that they're doing. I look at the home of Brigadier Chaminuka, retired Brigadier Chaminuka. This man worked in the army of Zimbabwe. He's got multiple medals from Mozambique, DRC, United Nations. But look at his home. His coffin could not fit in his house. Look at what they had to do here. Guys, this is sad. This is a sad situation. And I'm going to give you guys the pictures. This man is one of the top military people in Zimbabwe. And look at the home where he came from. We expect our country to develop, but look at how these guys are living. Guys in the military are having a difficult time, but the top generals are also struggling. And when they retire, they live these difficult lives where they have almost nothing. And this is the family here. Because retired Brigadier General had 5 children, and obviously he's survived by his wife. But my biggest complaint with the Zimbabwe military is they're not doing enough. They need to do better, because we expect a young soldier on retirement to do well, but they're not doing well. Even their senior guys are not doing well. They're struggling. They're dying in such a way that when you bury them, you can't even put a coffin in their house. That is how bad the situation is. The body had to be taken to, I think it's called Charles Gumbo Barracks. over there for overnight because they could not put the body overnight at home. This is what happens with the top soldiers of Zimbabwe when they die. Then let's quickly look at what is happening with conferences. I want to take you to a conference that is taking place, very important conference taking place this month. It's being advertised now. So you can check out this conference here. It's going to be happening from the 4th to the 7th of September. So get ready for this conference. It's called the AHFOZ Annual All Stakeholder Conference on Health. The guys who are speaking here are some of the top people in health, and it's going to be held in Victoria Falls. Go check it out. I'm going to upload this poster on Gambakwe. Let's see if any of the newspapers is published. As I've said, the Standard newspaper is leading with the story that Mutsvangwa is threatened to expose Chiwenga for secret meetings that he held just after the coup. And he says that Chiwenga was not in support of Mnangagwa, and he is not the one that is next in line. So I want to take you through that statement. It's in the Standard newspaper. It's very, very interesting. And I want to make sure that we don't end up with a problem. And the problem that I'm seeing is Chiwenga is sitting back too much. He's allowing himself to be attacked by Mutsvangwa. I don't believe that Mutsvangwa can be president in Zimbabwe. Unfortunately, I don't think Mutsvangwa has got the team, and I don't think he's got the support in the military. I know he was Minister of Veterans, but I don't think he's got the military support to become president. What we need in Zimbabwe is dialogue. After dialogue, we need the transitional system, and then we'll take it from there. Now, let me quickly take you through the Sunday Mirror newspaper. So the Sunday Mirror newspaper is published. It's leading with drug culture alien to Zimbabwe. That is Mnangagwa talking over here. And let me see if there's anything of interest. They're congratulating Tatenda Mawetera over there. I don't know what she won, but I actually want to show you a young woman who's doing well. And this young woman is, let's see what's her name is here. She's called Kudzai Mnangagwa Fufu. Mnangagwa Fufu. She is actually someone who did very, very well. She started 2 companies in hospitality, in security. Yes, security and hospitality. She does transport. So these are people who are actually deserving of winning a prize as business owner of the year. Tatenda Mawetera, I do not know what business she has ever started in her whole life. Please tell me a business that was started by Tatenda Mawetera. But anyway, you can see this newspaper is massive. The Sunday Mirror newspaper is massive. It's got a lot of adverts. Let me see if there's anything of interest here that I can share with you. But the Sunday Mirror newspaper are doing very well. Let's see who is advertising for these jobs. So there's a massive number of jobs from the public prosecutor. So if you want to work for the public prosecutor, this is all the jobs that they've advertised here. You can go and check them out. Let's see what else is there. I'm not going to read the, the gossip stories, but there's a lot here. Wife won't stop cheating. That's Maichi Samba. Wife won't stop cheating. It's your fault if your wife won't stop cheating and you don't leave. So anyway, as you can see, there's a lot here. What I'm going to do is, if there's anything of interest, I'm going to pick it up and I'll bring it back to you guys in the afternoon. At the moment, I don't have enough time to go through this newspaper and give you what I think is important. So tomorrow morning, we're going to have something important that if I find any important stories here, I'll bring them to you. And also important vacancies. If there are any important vacancies, I'm going to bring them to you tomorrow morning or later on this afternoon. But the story that we are leading with today is the threat by Mutsvangwa to expose Chiwenga over secret meetings that he says Chiwenga held soon after the coup. And he also says Chiwenga was not fully in support of Mnangagwa. You can go and look at that story in the Standard newspaper. I do not know what he's on about, but he says he's going to expose it. Achafumura, that's the word that he used. Achafumura Chiwenga. If Chiwenga continues to say he's going to be next in line and is anointed, and he mentioned it by name. So the battle is open. between Mutsvangwa and Chiwenga. Chiwenga thinks, Mutsvangwa thinks he can take the position from Chiwenga, but I don't see how it's going to work. Because remember, Zanu PF is a military organization. There's a hierarchy. So you cannot take someone who's vice president and then make them lower than someone who's not in the structure on the presidium. So let's see how Mutsvangwa manages to remove Chiwenga from the top and pass him. Very important to see how that is going to happen, because Chiwenga is firmly in the presidium, and whoever wants to take over will first have to remove Chiwenga. And let's see how that happens. It's possible because Chiwenga is sitting back, and let's see how that happens, because Team Chiwenga is being decimated on a daily basis. They're being removed. And many people have told me they feel that Chiwenga is not protecting them. He needs to come out strongly, build a team, and work with the opposition on a transitional arrangement. That is what they've said. Mutsvangwa is talking, doing a lot of talking, but I don't believe that Mutsvangwa is able to build a team. He just likes to talk. But where is his team? Where is Mutsvangwa's team? Where is his game plan? I don't see it. Is he going to be the president, or is he going to put his wife to be the president? Because it's possible that Monica can become the president, but she'll have to fight it out with Opam Chinguri. Opam Chinguri is also vying for that position. So we've got 3 women right now. Auxilia Mnangagwa, Monica Mutsvangwa, and Opam Chinguri, who are potential candidates to be the president of Zanu PF. And all these will probably go up against General Chiwenga. General Chiwenga, who is sitting back and not making his move known. So General Chiwenga is not saying what he's planning to do. So I think I've given you enough information for today. I'm very excited with what we've been doing. We've been sending news to the raw areas. People depend on this news bulletin on a daily basis. And I would like to encourage you, when we send our 5 minutes video every morning, please take it to the raw area so that people know what is happening. Mnangagwa is doing something very dangerous. He is destroying our country, and Mnangagwa is leaving a legacy of failure in our country. We need to stop this thing where our country is becoming a laughing stock of the region. The reason why is, look at the SADC story. Mnangagwa has seen what he's failed to finish the project. Let me give you an example of that. Let's look at today's newspaper. Right. Mnangagwa has failed to do anything with SADC. He's failed to finish the project. Total failure on the part of Mnangagwa. Now look at this newspaper. Do you see anything in this newspaper about SADC? This is the Sunday Mail newspaper, right? They've said nothing here about SADC in this whole newspaper because they failed to complete the project. So they've gone away now. They've been going on about SADC the whole 3-4 months. But because they failed and SADC has told them to go back to the drawing board, they've now kept quiet and they don't want to say anything. This is the same thing with Mbudzi interchange, with the dams, with the roads. Everything that Mnangagwa is touching is failing, is not completing. And he's leaving this legacy of failure in our country. And to make matters worse, he's arresting young people. On a daily basis, young people are being arrested, and is creating a legacy of dictatorship in our country. This is what we want to stop. And that is why we need a new government and new leaders. Mnangagwa has totally made things so bad in Zimbabwe compared to when he was not there. So I hope that someone stands up and deals with this situation. We've got a problem, a serious problem with Mnangagwa. And the sooner Mnangagwa goes, the better. Now, Mkomanyasha is saying Mutsvangwa is too talkative for nothing. I believe what Mutsvangwa is trying to get the conversation going, but I don't think his approach is correct. Mutsvangwa, what is his game plan? Set out a plan. Are you going to be contesting? Who is your team? Who are you going to be working with? What's your view on the opposition? He talks a lot, but we need someone that can say, here is Mnangagwa and here is me. And that person must be willing to lose everything. So if you want to become the president of Zimbabwe, first you must lose everything. So you must lose your position. You must be openly challenging Mnangagwa, and you must start talking about a new vision for the country. And especially, Zimbabwe has not been working well between the two political parties, the opposition and the ruling party. We need someone who's going to come up and say how they are going to work with the opposition, how they're going to look at dialogue, how they're going to go into transition period. Because Zimbabwe has basically been stagnant ever since Zanu PF took over. And we need someone who's going to come out strongly with the plan, and someone who's going to say they're going to respect democracy, human rights, they're going to stop all the arrests, stop everything that Mnangagwa was doing now. Don't go along. That is the kind of person that we need. And I think Chiwenga is right. He's possibly able to do it, but I don't know why he's not speaking up. And then Mkoma Robert is saying Chiwenga is not poorly Zanu PF in appearance and likely to lead the country into transitional authority, which might be good for Zimbabwe post Mnangagwa. Yes, I believe Chiwenga can do it. And guys, let me stay a bit on this point. Chiwenga is a military guy. Chiwenga finishes his projects. If Chiwenga takes over a project that Mnangagwa is failed to finish, it's going to finish. Look at the Mbuyane statue. The problem with Mnangagwa is he does not set deadlines and timelines. So Mnangagwa's things are continuous. They keep going and they don't end. So the Mbuyane statue was doing the same, it wasn't finishing. And Chiwenga had to step in and finish that project because people could not drive inside the city center anymore. So he came in and forced people to finish the project. Similarly, if you look at what had happened at Parliament, for 4 years, there was nothing happening there. Then Chiwenga went there and the road was opened. At least it got moving. So this road I'm talking about here, it was stagnant. Things were not moving. Contractors were playing. The contractors, they know how to play Mnangagwa. They keep going, and Mnangagwa keeps giving them money. So they were doing the same, and then they threw Chiwenga out of this project, and it stagnated again because Mnangagwa's guys, they only know one thing, which is to steal. And so the thing with Mnangagwa and Chiwenga, the difference is that Chiwenga can finish his projects, and Mnangagwa cannot. Mnangagwa, any project that Mnangagwa starts, it doesn't finish. I can take you to the dams. There is no single dam in Zimbabwe now that is finished. Machekarana Dam, which is in Chiwenga's area, they were supposed to put projects there. I'm talking about irrigation projects and housing projects. Mnangagwa just built the dam, and then he didn't put any projects there. He stopped Chiwenga from being involved in that project. There is a road that they were building there. That road is not finished. So any project that Mnangagwa started is not finished. Mnangagwa doesn't finish his project because he's only interested in starting, but he can't close, can't finish. That is the problem with Mnangagwa. And that is where we need someone that can bring everything together. The problem with Mnangagwa will not end because that is how he operates. He does half a thing, he doesn't finish. And we need that to happen. That also goes with the dialogue. Mnangagwa was set up with Poland. And then just midway through, he's going to stop, he won't complete. He's going to start something and say, I'm doing this. This is how Mnangagwa operates with all his projects. And that is why Zimbabwe is in its current state. We're in a limbo right now. And now he's going for 2030. What is 2030? Why 2030? So those are the kind of things that I'm talking about. We have a serious problem with Mnangagwa, and someone has to bring this to an end. And then Mkoma keeps saying, what is he saying, Mutsvangwa? Mutsvangwa is saying Chiwenga held secret meetings. And if Chiwenga continues to say he's going to be the next in line, he's going to fumura Chiwenga. That's what he said. Go and check it out in the Standard newspaper. So I want to bring this to an end. I've talked for over 30 minutes. I prefer not to talk so long. And then Mkoma Nyasha says, that of Zambia is dangerous move by approaching Zimbabwe government, they will be captured. Yes, the guys in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Zambia, I want to warn them about Zanu PF. There is nothing good that will come from their relationship with Zanu PF. They are doing very well. Zambia is doing very well now. Stop talking to these guys from Zanu PF. Do your thing in Zambia. They are doing very, very well. I've been in Zambia for 15 times in the past 3 years. That country is amazing. It's growing. You don't need Zimbabwe to become the chairperson or president of the African Development Bank. And good morning to you, Mkoma Farai. Guys, thank you very much for watching. And I really thank you very much for your support and for all the work that we've been doing here. As I said, this week, we're going to be going to all the African SADC presidents. And I need to travel. I'm going to be traveling to some of the presidents. So next president we're going to go to is the president of Angola. That is where we're going to go very soon. So donate here on fumojena.com. Let's go over there and let's make Zanu PF sweat. Let's make him some Mnangagwa sweat. Mnangagwa achara akafika butsu. Mnangagwa should not be allowed to arrest people and keep them in jail. How evil is that, Mnangagwa, who arrest a van and keep them in jail for no reason, without trial? Mnangagwa must stop right now what he's doing. And the good thing is that Mnangagwa does not have as much power as you guys think. He's got no right to arrest people and keep them in jail. And we want people to start speaking up and say, Mnangagwa, stop what you're doing. And Auxilia Mnangagwa was starting to rope it in. It's part of the problem. How evil is it, Auxilia Mnangagwa, kusunga vanhu muchivachengeta mujere? What year are you living in, Auxilia Mnangagwa and Emerson Mnangagwa? Munosunga madzibaba evana nevaning'ina muchivakanda mujere. Chii naye Auxilia na Emerson? Guys, mukuzviona sei kuti munhu anosungwa and kept in jail? What for? What year is he living in, Mnangagwa? This must end. We don't need to be pushing you every day to do the right thing. It's the worst thing that you can do, to take someone from their life and throw them in jail. These things used to happen in the past. And Mnangagwa and Auxilia, they are so backward. They think that's ruling, that's showing power to Sungavan, which are terrible behavior. And we don't want it. We must not encourage it. Free the people who have been arrested. Timber and 78 people, free them. The money changers, 250 of them, free those people. And the 600 touts, free them. We don't want 1,000 people in jail for no reason. Mnangagwa and Auxilia, stop it. So I think we've covered this, and we're going to keep pressure on it. We want to make sure that we don't have this thing. And General Chiwenga, when he comes in, please stop these things. Make sure that we don't have a country which is so backward. A country no nyadzisa in the region. There is no country in Southern Africa which is doing what Mnangagwa is doing right now. Some backward thing from the past, which no one can explain. What is Mnangagwa trying to prove? I don't know. And we're not afraid of him. Personally, I'm not afraid of Mnangagwa. And urawine munhu kumasvingo. Ndakakuudzai kudhara. 2040, then the chipo. And 17 August, you're going to see me in Harare. And this Sungwe, I've done nothing which deserves for me to be arrested. This thing of being afraid of Mnangagwa is what is causing us problems. He is a leader of the country, but he's got no right to arrest everyone for no reason. And guys in security services, what is this? What are you doing, honestly? Kanamaka garam to office chenyu. What do you think you're doing? For 35, 40 days with no trial. Is there a leader in this place who can ask a question? What are we doing, people? What country and what year are we in? So I'd like to thank all of you, and I hope that you give me support. I'm going to be asking for people to meet me at the airport. So, guys, make sure to Zimbabwe, 17. 17 August. I'm going to be coming over there. I've already booked my tickets. 17 August is a Saturday. So I'll probably arrive there on the 16th. So that time. So 16 August, I'll be over there. 17, 18, and I'll spend there. I'll be back out of Zimbabwe on the 20th. And obviously, we want someone who's going to help me to organize. If you want to organize people to meet me at the airport, here is my number, so that we all get there. And I want to make sure that by that time, Timber is out. We have visited all the African presidents, and we're going to be over there. Do not be afraid. Sungwa akuchikisi, vanhu vakasungwa iko zvino vakafa here varimo mujere and they are alive. Let's see kuti Mnangagwa achasunga munhu wese here muZimbabwe, tione kuti unovapedza here Mnangagwa and Auxilia musara mega muZimbabwe muchigara muimba vamwe vese tichigara kumajere. So I think that is the point. We've made the point, and I want to recap the point that I've made here. Today in the leading story, Christopher Mutsvangwa has came out and given an exclusive interview to the Standard newspaper. He said he's got secret details about meetings that Chiwenga was holding soon after the coup, and he doesn't believe that Chiwenga was completely in support of Mnangagwa. He says that there was no secret deal between Mnangagwa and Chiwenga, which people believe was there, to say Mnangagwa will hand over to Chiwenga and that the next president of Zimbabwe will be chosen by the people and not through anointing, as Mnangagwa is not able to anoint a successor because Zanu PF is a democratic party. That is what Mutsvangwa is saying, and he's saying Chiwenga should subject himself to an election process and not believe that he is going to be anointed. Right, I'd like to thank you very much, and Mkoma Andrea, vanonyadzisa Idi na Auxilia havana moyo, pro and heartless. We are going to be approaching the African presidents, SADC presidents, and Auxilia and Mnangagwa. Free the people. We want that to be the chorus. Do not arrest people and keep women and men and fathers and children in jail. We don't want it, Auxilia and Mnangagwa. Arresting and shooting is the same. You won't shoot everyone. Yes, but Mnangagwa, stop. Guys, we want to respect rules pa Mnangagwa. Ipere. Kana achishuta vanhu, kana achisunga vanhu. Stop it, Mnangagwa will leave a legacy. And don't leave a legacy of failure, unfinished projects, arresting, so that we need to clean it up for years after you're gone. And we're not afraid. And Inini, I'm coming there on the 17th. Guys, it may look like I'm saying, so someone wrote me and said, Gambakwe, why are you doing what is called Dutch courage? It's not Dutch courage. We need to build a new country. Zvirikuitika naMnangagwa izvi hazvisi normal. So don't take this as normal. Zvinhu zvirikuitwa naMnangagwa is not normal. Kusunga vanhu, kuriga elections, kuba mari, and then when you steal the money, you just sit there. And then you tell the ZAC not to investigate. That's impunity. And someone has to bring it to the end. And to make matters worse, you're going for a third term. So guys, let's stop it. Let's build a country that is successful. Our people are struggling out there. All over the world, our people are struggling in Zimbabwe. Let's stop it. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Let's not keep talking. I'll be back later in the evening with the feature of all the South African women who are doing very well, leading in business. We'll try to find someone to do it, or I'll do it myself. Thank you very much, everyone.